Welcome to Vibe Sense. Man, the 2025 Dutch Grand Prix, what a race. It's going to go down in the books as a serious tale of two extremes. You had one team hitting absolute perfection and another, well, it was a complete and utter catastrophe.
So on one side of the garage, you've got McLaren pulling off a historic Grand Slam. And then you look over at Ferrari, a disastrous double retirement. It just makes you wonder, right? How can two top-tier teams have such polar opposite results on the very same day? Let's get into it and really unpack the story of total glory and total disaster.
Okay, so let's kick things off with the good stuff. The absolute pinnacle of performance. Oscar Piastri's incredible drive from Leclerc.
Now, to really get how big of a deal this is, you gotta understand what a Grand Slam even means in Formula One. I mean, it is the ultimate flex. It's not just winning, it's winning everything. You have to get pole position, you have to lead every single lap of the race, set the fastest lap, and win the thing. It's just perfect dominance. So rare, and it really shows you when a driver and a car are just completely in sync.
And this win, man, it had some serious history behind it. This wasn't just a big day for Piastri. We're talking about McLaren's first Grand Slam since all the way back in 1991. I mean, that is just a monumental day for the team, finally ending a dry spell that lasted more than 30 years. Incredible.
All right, now let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this crazy story, Ferrari's total meltdown. While McLaren's popping champagne and celebrating perfection, the Scuderia was living through an absolute nightmare.
And the chaos for Ferrari, it didn't happen all at once. It was like a slow-motion train wreck. First, on lap 23, bam, Hamilton crashes out. Then, not even 15 laps later, his teammate Leclerc gets tangled up with another car, and his day is done too. Zandvoort was just brutal, you know? It even bit McLaren's second car late in the race. So, there you have it. Two Ferraris that didn't finish the race. A double DNF. That means 0 points for the team. For their championship hopes, that is absolutely catastrophic. And just to rub a little more salt in the wound, this was Lewis Hamilton's very first DNF, did not finish, in Ferrari red. Talk about a disappointing and completely unwanted milestone for the 7-time world champ.
So you might be thinking, okay, 2 crashes, that's just some really bad luck, right? But was it? Or are we seeing the symptoms of a much, much deeper problem brewing inside that team?
Yeah, let's dig into that. Because Ferrari's collapse at Zandvoort, it wasn't just a fluke. It was the boiling point for 5 huge core issues that have been dragging them down all season long.
So we're going to trace this whole thing right from the source. It all starts with a flawed car concept, which then leads to reliability problems, gets made worse by poor strategy, a development race they're losing, and all of that heaps a ton of pressure on the drivers.
Okay, first up, the car itself. The SF25 is, to put it bluntly, fundamentally flawed. The rear end is super unstable, it just destroys its tires, and it has this peaky performance that engineers are always talking about.
And what does peaky mean? Well, here's the deal. Over one single lap in qualifying, the car is a rocket. It's fast, but the second you get into a long race stint, all that performance just evaporates. It becomes unstable, and the tires just fall apart. Let's be real, you can't win a championship with a car that does that.
So, as if being a nightmare to drive wasn't enough, the car is also just not reliable. They have these constant power unit failures, which means even if the drivers pull off a miracle and get the thing under control, there's still no guarantee it's even going to cross the finish line.
All right, next up, let's talk about the pit wall. You look at teams like Red Bull and McLaren, and their strategy calls are just sharp, decisive. They're playing chess. Ferrari, on the other hand, often seems like they're a step behind, playing checkers, making slow calls, and getting caught flat-footed whenever the race changes. And that weakness on the pit wall gets even worse when you look at the development race. Look, in Formula One, if you're not moving forward, you're going backward. And while rivals like McLaren and Red Bull are slapping on upgrades that give them huge chunks of lap time, Ferrari's upgrades, they're barely making a dent. So they're basically standing still while everyone else is sprinting ahead. And then, finally, all of this, it just boils over. It creates this immense mental pressure. I mean, think about it. You've got 2 of the best drivers on the planet, Leclerc and Hamilton, and they're wrestling with a car that's unpredictable and just not competitive. The frustration has to be off the charts. And like they say, frustration, it forces errors.
And all of this leads us to the next race on the calendar, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. And for Ferrari, that's not just another race weekend. Oh no, that's their home race. It's the ultimate pressure cooker.
So let's just recap where we are. Ferrari is stuck with a deeply flawed car, they're losing the development race badly, and all of that is made worse by constant reliability issues and shaky strategy. The bottom line is, they're going backwards.
And that leaves us with one massive question hanging in the air. With their passionate home crowd, the Tifosi, watching every single move, with the weight of a nation on their shoulders and a car that is letting them down, can Ferrari possibly hold it together at Monza? Or are we about to witness a complete and total collapse under the pressure? Thanks for watching VibeSense.